the boy's right hand unexpectedly grew a parasite, dealing a fatal blow to him, who had been single for 20 years. Where did this parasite come from, and what mission was bestowed upon it when it merged with the boy? One day, in the dead of night, countless terrifying spores descended upon the earth. They emerged from the sea and advanced toward the human world. Parasites infiltrated shipping containers and made their way into the city, launching deadly attacks while humans rested. Humans invaded by parasites appeared alive on the outside, but they were already dead. A woman noticed something strange about her husband, and the man's head split open the next second. That night, Shinichi also encountered the same situation. However, he was accustomed to falling asleep while listening to music. Unable to penetrate him that way, the parasites found another way. But luckily, Shinichi reacted quickly. However, the parasite did not give up on him. It leaped up and forcibly burrowed into Shinichi's arm, heading toward his brain. Shinichi quickly used a data cable to stop its attempt temporarily. The noise awakened Shinichi's mother, and he quickly explained the situation. However, when they looked carefully, there was nothing on his arm. Thinking he maybe had a nightmare, Shinichi didn't think much of it. The bizarre events began to unfold the next day. On the way to school, his right hand involuntarily touched a female classmate. He picked up a dropped eraser as if Monkey D. Luffy had possessed him. The most shocking thing was during the basketball game. Shinichi's right hand threw the ball casually, and it went over half of the court and into the basket. Shinichi finally realized that all of this was probably related to the previous night's event. He searched for relevant information online, and at that moment, an ice suddenly grew on his right hand. Shinichi wanted to cut it open but didn't have the courage. This action angered his right hand, and it started mocking him. Parasites grew on Shinichi's right hand, calling itself Migi. It told Shinichi about its origins. Originally, Migi came from outer space. Its mission was to take over human brains and bodies and ultimately rule the earth, cannibalizing humans. Unexpectedly, Migi had problems when it appeared in Shinichi's body, and the two became symbiotic. On the other side, Migi's different kinds successfully controlled the host's brain and began to feast on a buffet in the city. Suddenly, a large number of death cases appeared all over the country. Apart from Shinichi, no one knows about the existence of parasites. Not even the police were aware. The whole country is shrouded in fear and unease. One day, while on a bus ride, Migi suddenly pressed the bell. Due to having the ability to sense nearby parasites, Shinichi did not want to go but was dragged along by Migi. In a dark kitchen, they saw parasites gnawing on humans there. It sensed the presence of another fellow parasite, so it reverted to its human form. Learning that Migi's parasitic integration had failed, the man's head split open instantly. He also hacked off his right hand without hesitation to invite Migi to move onto his body. When they refused, the parasite became violent. Unbeknownst to anyone, the parasite assumed a human identity and infiltrated society to carry out their plans better. It was not until Migi told Shinichi that a teacher who had just transferred to their school was a socially integrated parasite. As the leader of the parasites, Ryoko was very curious about Shinichi and Migi's symbiotic relationship. After school, Ryoko introduced two successful socially integrated parasites to Shinichi, high school student Shimada and a man who posed as a police officer. Ryoko invited Shinichi to join their organization for intelligence sharing. When he refused, she threatened the lives of his entire class, forcing him to reconsider. Migi warned Shinichi to be especially wary of the police officer, a man named as he sensed a strong desire to kill emanating from him. On his way home, Shinichi encountered who proved to be a formidable opponent. Migi could not defend against him, but overlooked one fatal flaw: an individual host could launch a solo attack. Shinichi was able to take advantage of this and defeated it with a steel pipe. Shinichi, who had never experienced such violence, fled the scene in shock, but shortly after he left, Shinichi's mother found a dying Mr. A on her way home. The kind-hearted mother went up to check on him and ended up being possessed by him as the new host. Despite Migi repeatedly warning Shinichi that she was not his real mother, he could not bring himself to act against her. As a result, she stabbed him in the heart, killing him. She left them alone, knowing that without a host, Migi would also perish. Ryoko saw Shinichi's empty seat at school and feared the worst, but something unexpected happened. After a left, Migi merged with Shinichi's body, using its cells to repair his damaged heart. Shinichi was effectively reborn, but he was devastated by the loss of his mother. When Shinichi asked Ryoko about A's whereabouts, she refused to reveal his hiding place and instead threatened him not to cause any more trouble. After absorbing Migi's cells, Shinichi's body surpassed normal human limits, and his personality changed as well. Due to Migi losing some of his cells, he would uncontrollably fall asleep for 4 hours daily. The next morning, Shimada suddenly appeared in front of Shinichi, and the two began to compete against each other. It was clear that Ryoko had sent Shimada to monitor Shinichi. During the test, Shimada discovered that Shinichi's strength was almost on par with his own, and he reported this back to Ryoko. Ryoko was very pleased to see the hope of coexistence between parasites and humans, as she was becoming tired of the bloodshed. As time went on, people became more aware of the existence of parasites. A method of identifying them spread online, simply pulling out their hair. If the hair moved, it proved that they were parasitized. Shimada watched as his secret was exposed, meaning that no one present would be able to leave alive. His head split open, revealing his true form. In a state of panic, Satomi threw sulfuric acid at him, causing Shimada to enter a state of frenzy. A bloodbath ensued. By the time Shinichi arrived, the scene was full of corpses. As Satomi lay on the ground, injured and at death's door, Shinichi and Migi prepared to act. However, Ryoko suddenly appeared and blamed Shimada for starting the chaos. She then threw a bottle of explosives and left. At this moment, Shinichi demonstrated his amazing abilities by jumping off the building with Satomi. Shimada was still alive despite the explosion, and Migi could sense his presence. On the rooftop, Shimada appeared in front of Shinichi. Shinichi's right hand turned into a bow and arrow while his left hand drew the arrow. After killing Shimada, Shinichi met Ryoko, who apologized for what happened at school and gave him Mr. A's address before leaving. Shinichi then found Mr. A's hiding place based on the address, and they came under the bridge and were ready to make an end. However, at that moment, Migi couldn't hold on and had to enter a dormant state. It transforms into a sharp blade. With the enhanced cellular strength from Migi, Shinichi's power greatly increased. Under his sharp attack, Mr. A was beaten back repeatedly. He started imitating Shinichi's mother's tone of voice. But surprisingly, the fatal attack was missed. It turned out that Shinichi's mother's residual consciousness saved him. Shinichi endured the sorrow and killed the parasites with one blow. At the movie's end, Shinichi goes to the hospital and looks at Satomi lying on the bed. He finally understood his mission and pledged to eliminate all parasites. What kind of conspiracy is brewing in the dark ahead? And what kind of ruthless battles are waiting for them? What kind of creature will be born from Ryoko's pregnancy? We will find the answers in Parasites 2. Remember to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.